This podcast is brought to you by our anime addicts all over the globe. If you want to be an anime addict, get all the extra content, and support the podcast, you can go to patreon.com or our website, AAAPodcast.com/join. We did some pretty spicy hentai episodes in these last couple weeks. We talked about what a delivery health establishment is, so that was pretty fun. And they got into some naughty hentai tags the week before that, which produced a lot of funny drops. So if you want to get these hentai episodes, or hey, if you want to get the hobby addicts and hear us talk about Claire Obscure Expedition 33, we just talked about that as well. So all exclusive for you on patreon.com or our website. And now time to start the podcast.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAAPodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Welcome into the 778th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Our sole mission is to make your anime addiction worse. I am your host, Mitsugi. I'm bald and beautiful, and I'm drinking a monster. Someday I will die on this podcast drinking too much caffeine. But until then, we have Andrew. He's also looking beautiful. How are you, Andrew?
Hello, I'm drinking a mango smoothie, wondering that in the world of Claire Obscure, I would have already been gommaged.
And on that note, we also have the fabulous Lady Emery. How are you doing?
Hello. Doing good. I have Waterloo, I guess, so just
seltzer water.
Yeah, just rocking some sparkling water.
Produces much burping, usually.
Well, I will try and be good. I have regular water, too. At the ready.
Okay. Well, if you want to follow us, you can watch us live on YouTube and Twitch, Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern. We're on pretty much all of the social media. We've got a Twitter page, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all that. We're also on Discord. The Discord is free. We don't charge you for the Discord like some podcasts out there. AAADiscord.com. Pop that browser open wherever you're listening. AAADiscord.com. Come on. We bought a domain to make this easy for you. I can't make it any easier. I'll take you straight to the Discord. It's literally 2 clicks and you're in. You're in like sin. That's right. Oh boy. What are we doing on the podcast today? Is spring 2025 the worst anime season ever? We will discuss this. I see that Lady Emery put a lot of blacked out data down below. Oh my god. She's got weighted scores and like statistics and shit. Wow. Oh my god. That's just way more
He did
than I
all
was
the work
expecting.
that I was unwilling to do. Well, or realized to do. So I appreciate you. Namaste.
We're also going to do some more impressions. We'll see if we pass anything this week. And if we don't, that's okay, because we'll just let you pick some more shows from older seasons for us to do. We're going to do impressions on Summer Pockets, Witch Watch, Uichi Uwachi, as it is called. Go-Go Loser Ranger Season 2, although I realized earlier today that I had watched the beginning of Season 1, I think. So much for that.
Amazing.
Thank you, Disney Plus.
Oh, is that what, did I get Disney Plus?
You did.
Yeah, so...
Son of a
Disney
bitch!
Plus didn't separate it by season, so it just continued off from where
They
it
just
left
smush
off.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it took me a second
Bastards.
to realize when I was looking for the Season 2 tag, but we'll get into it.
All right, well, we'll talk about that. Zatsu Tabi. Is it seriously called That's Journey? God, what a
Yep.
fucking
Yep.
title.
That's not a typo. That's
You know you're
Journey.
fucked when they don't even try on the title. Zatsu Tabi, which is, I guess, that is literally in English, That's Journey. Because Zatsu is how they would say that's. Also, Rock is a lady's modesty. All of these from spring 2025. We're going to get to these much later in the show. Also, I think we're pretty much squared away on Family Feud, but I'm not 100% sure. If you want to do some submissions for our upcoming Family Feud game, where we say things like, Name a thing that anime fans have of their waifu in their bedroom. I have the drops for all this shit. I should just play the fucking drops from Family Feud. What would they say? Let's see. Let's see. Body pillow. Oh my god! Amazing. There we go.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah. We'll play. Thank you very much. So if you want to help us do this game on the podcast, you can go to our website. I have a banner right through the middle of the page, and you can click and fill out these questions. It's easy, it's quick, and it'll get this game going for us. So now I think it's time to head into the big news of the week.
おー、大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
I have no big news of the week, so I will just relinquish my spot to Lady. Well, I actually had the same one as you, Lady Emery. And
You
then
did.
And then I saw you had much better notes, and when I saw your stuff at the bottom of the document, so a very big document today. It's like 20.
Yes.
It's like 20 pages or something. I don't know. It's a lot.
It's a meaty document today. It's
making it worth
sizable.
it.
It's girthy.
For all those who support us, it definitely makes it worth it. And makes up for me putting lack of notes. So heck yeah.
All right.
But yeah, if we had the same one, then I bet we're gonna touch on the same points. So I'll just kick it off. So Sony partners with video game giant for a massive investment in anime, and it could have a huge effect on the industry. So for those who don't know, I'm gonna just rewind it a little bit, and I'm gonna mispronounce this company's name. I'm so sorry.
No, you won't.
Gaudier?
Perfect. You fucking nailed it. That's perfect.
Well, that's okay.
I'm making that up. I don't know if it's... You have to say it with conviction, like you know it's correct.
Gaudier.
That's right. Perfect.
So if that sounds familiar to anyone, it's because they have just recently bought Mal, my anime list. And now Sony, who you should know for Crunchyroll, is teaming up with Bandai to invest in this company. They're investing 10 billion yen, which the article had the conversion at 68.7 million US dollars, because we're not all Canadian.
Because the yen is weak as shit now.
Unfortunately.
No, it's just because the dollar is strong against the yen. The yen is weak as shit. You guys really, everybody listening, like, just go get your yen. Get it now. What are you waiting for? You will want to go to Japan.
Constantly plugging this.
Yeah, well, you should.
Yeah.
You lock in your cheapest fuck Japan trip right the fuck now. Why? DM
you
me
and
on the
Pancake
Discord.
Are going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
three times
Yeah, well,
in 2
and
years.
you and Pancake are going in the fall, so if they plan their trip accordingly,
You know what's
they can
insane?
visit you.
You know what's insane? Not to get you off topic, is that in October, the weather should be pretty perfect in Tokyo. And sorry, I had to burp up some of that Monster. Pretty good. Oh, it's good the second time. Gross, Mitts. Come on. The flights in October are only $800 fucking dollars. I know that sounds like a lot, maybe, but it really isn't. For Japan, that's the cheapest flight I've ever heard of. Anyway, back to you, Cotton.
Well, like I think I was saying, is as a reminder, Sony owns Crunchyroll. So you have Sony, you have Bandai. They're investing in this company. This company, Gaudier, they are interested, I believe it's in Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, excuse me. They're interested in AI and blockchain. That's kind of their two buzzwords that people have talked about. And as a reminder, Crunchyroll heard the pushback on AI and actually walked back a lot of their previous wanting to invest in AI. So I'm so curious what this investment is going to be and what it's going towards and what Mal's going to look like in the future. So I don't know if you all have thoughts on this.
I do have thoughts.
If it means less ads on Mal, then I'm all for it. Even though I use a ad blocker for more or less. I don't know what they're going to do with it. And I feel like they are just going to invest it in crypto and AI and just in some way, shape, or form. I'm just not sure what particularly, and I don't know what the return on investment is going to be on something like this.
Hasn't Mao changed hands like several times in the span of this podcast? I feel like they get bought and sold like every 3 years. I'd have to look up the history of that, but so that was my first thought. My second thought is, did I really read that they spent $68.7 million on this shit? Like, is Mal really worth that much? I guess I read they have 20 million users. Like, that's a fucking lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, do you think that they're going... So right now, Mal is free, right? So do you think the idea is that they will make it like a Crunchyroll sort of thing, and that they're going to start like doing subscription services? Like, yeah, we have it for free, but you want ad-free, pay for this version of it, and so on and so forth. Because that was what was at the top of my mind is, ooh, how do you get your return on investment? How do you get your money back from this?
Targeted marketing, probably something like that. You know, if they're using AI, I think at this point in time, we've all experienced talking about something like, let me give you an example. We were house hunting, right? And we gave up, but we were talking about privacy fences and, we could plant some bushes here so people can't see me running around butt naked in my backyard, which was actually a concern. And then it's like 5 straight weeks of advertisements about like the Leyland cypress, some fucking tree you can plant that grows like 5 feet a year. See, I know all this because your phone is listening to you, and that is 100% a fact, and everybody's experienced it.
True. When I was in New York, like in October or September, I was just like, I feel like I need to see a musical, and then and I was talking to BCom, and it's like, I go on Facebook for something else, and it's just like, Hadestown, come check out this musical. I'm like, I guess I'm seeing Hadestown.
Yeah, that's how I ended up getting LASIK, which was a mixed bag of results. But yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I just don't know. I was just shocked that my anime list is worth like we'll just call it $100 million. I mean, that's a wild amount of money for a website. And I found out recently that this is so off topic. Pornhub makes almost $100 billion a year in revenue. $100 billion. That's a B.
From
B as in boy. It has to be ads. It's basically
it has
YouTube.
To be.
It's like YouTube, but they've got like maybe 1/5 the traffic. I mean, it's fucking crazy.
But they're everywhere, right? Like, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm surprised and I'm not surprised. I didn't think it would be 100 billion. I was like, 10, 20 billion for sure. Because it is still the porn industry. And,
they might be the whole thing.
Well, that and OnlyFans, right? But that's a whole other conversation.
True.
Probably good for a hentai episode.
Oh yeah, which we're gonna do after this podcast today. Andrew, do you have something for big news of the week? I believe you do.
I don't, but
you don't. Oh, you don't. Okay.
But because my birthday was 2 months ago, I have stuff. So, show and tell time. My friend 3D printed it. Welcome to Andrew's Show and Tell. On today's docket, item number 1, a dice tray, or a dice tower. Sorry, dice tower.
It folds up too.
Dice tower.
Yeah,
so cool. It doesn't fold up. It's just a push. It has an automatic re-roll functionality. In case your dice does not roll the way you want, you can just smash it and it'll re-roll the dice. It is fun.
Looks good as fuck.
It does not come with any dice. This was all 3D printed by my friend for my birthday, and he likes to 3D print stuff. But that today is only one. To make this more anime, my other friend missed out on my birthday party.
There's more.
Exactly. One friend missed out on my birthday party and felt bad, so when they went to Japan, they bought me... and I'm so sorry to the audio-only listeners.
It's in a bagu. He's got it in a yellow bag. What is it?
So the first item, my friend won in a crane game, which Mitz remembers I played a ton of when I was in Japan. Mm-hmm. And it's Kawaii Goofy.
Goofy.
With red cheeks and everything.
He looks a little... I'm not going to lie, Andrew. He looks a little drunk.
He probably is.
I was going to say hi, but... All right.
Is he supposed to look drunk?
I think it's Japan. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, he's drunk
so
on...
my friend played
He's drunk on ramen.
So my friend played a crane game. Apparently it's a 100 yen machine. So that was pretty awesome, and he actually won it. But he went to the Pokemon Center, and he got me a bunch of...
Many boxes are coming out of this...
Yes.
Wow.
In a bag. So the first thing, I'm going to show this again on camera for, sorry, folks, listeners.
That's okay, I'll describe it. He's fumbling. He's getting it.
I hope it's an Ivysaur so we can have this debate again.
It's going to be...
No, it's a Growlithe and an Arcanine.
Oh, it's a Growlithe sticker. It looks very nice.
Yes,
wow.
So cute.
The artwork's
it's a decal.
great.
Oh,
decal.
yeah.
So where are you going to put that?
My friend said it's a decal. I'm just going to put it in my drawer because I want to keep it forever. Because that way it can't get ruined.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Like I'm like that too. I just never want to use it.
Oh, I'm a user. I don't want it to like just sit collecting dust. I want to put it places. So
yeah, it's just I feel like if I put it on something, it basically anyway, I'm just weird. So the first item is a sauce dish.
It's a little orange sauce. Who's in? Is that Arcanine again?
That is Arcanine again as a sauce dish.
Yeah.
So this is for your soy sauce for your sushi or other sauces.
You probably drink sake out of that too. Which
it's not.
I did. Oh come on, I did it yesterday.
I
did it yesterday. Yes, because I'm ill-equipped. I was like, what can I use? Okay, what else you got? Oh,
the other item is another Arcanine image. But this is a mini ramen. It's like a bowl, so you can put like donbluris and all that kind of stuff. It has a little Fui Cocoa at the top here, and a Cyndaquil at the... Oh no, that's the other item. But it has a little Fui Cocoa at the top, which is the current fire starter. And it's Pocket Monster, because Japan, they still call it that. And it's like a fun, nice little bowl with Arcanine. By the way, I'm never actually going to use these. They are just
never
display.
I don't want them to get ruined.
Yeah, don't put them in your dishwasher. Fucking rip them.
Yeah, don't do that.
So is Arcanine your favorite?
Growlithe and Arcanine is one of my favorite Pokemon. Yes, I have a few favorites, but they are definitely at the top of my list.
And what do we have here?
And then there's a plate where you can eat curry out of and whatnot. And it also has and a Cyndaquil at the bottom and the few Pokeballs, and it has Arcanine in the middle.
Is Arcanine?
And then I asked,
are Arcanine and Cyndaquil friends?
They're, of course, fire types are together. By the way, I'm a grass starter person, but Arcanine and Growlithe are my favorite. Mm-hmm. And so I opened all of this, by the way, mind you, and this is just like a couple hours ago. And then I asked my friends, like, there were no plushes, and he's like, well, by the time I got there, they were they were near the cache, and I had already had all this stuff in my hand, and I'm like, fair enough.
That's some good gifts. Some good gifts, though. Those are gifts. So those are gifts.
That's so sweet.
Yes. Oh, I asked how much I owed him because I said, get me that stuff. And he's like, no, it's your gift. I felt bad for ditching on your birthday.
Wow. Good friend. To
get ready for Japan. So.
Good friend.
Yes. Good. So that was that, and another friend made the dice tower, and so I'm gonna go tell him to print me a whole bunch of other D&D related things. And that was Andrew Show and Tell time.
Sorry, I don't have the drop ready again.
It's okay. So yes, that was
fantastic.
for mostly. If you want to see it, audio listeners, go check out the stream. Otherwise, if we're lucky, our social media manager will cut that out as a segment and put it up somewhere so that you can see it as well.
If you guys are hungry for any merch while we're in Japan this time, feel free to shoot across the memo. We'll see what we can find. So, Pancake, I'll be drinking and playing. It's all gonna be metal games, Andrew. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. We all know what.
So jealous.
We all know what it's about. Jealous. We're all degenerates. So that's
I love metal games now.
All right, let's move. Yes, they're amazing. And in Japan, they're way better than. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
Control to all units, be advised. We have reports of a break-in in progress. Suspects may be still in the premises. Backup requested. Over.
You have the right to remain silent.
Anime under.
I can't go back to jail!
Arrest.
I like this drop. It was a Otaku Cop segment, but since so much spicy discourse had happened on the Discord between mostly Lady Emery and Andrew, we will bring the spicy discourse to here because... moving on. All right, so Nintendo Switch 2. Everybody's pissed off about it at different levels.
Yep. I think we need to get into it.
So I'll lead us in because I was personally not surprised at all by this. Because Nintendo, whether or not people know it, then the literal word Nintendo is worth $100 billion. Just the word. Just the fucking word. It's up there with Coca-Cola and other insane brands, right? It probably falls short of maybe only a few. Like Apple and a couple others are probably worth more, and that's probably all. So people that are listening, when companies have invested this much money in their brand, they tend to be able to charge a lot more money for the same thing as somebody else that's selling the same exact thing. But it was funny. So many people lost their shit about the Nintendo Switch 2's pricing because, I mean, let's be honest, times are kind of hard. Food is so expensive. Interest rates on everything are just not manageable, even close. Like a used car is a 12% interest rate. It's fucking crazy. Now they're garnishing student loans. It's just so much stuff. Credit card debt's at an all-time high. So I wrote down the U.S. average credit card debt is now over $11,000 per household, which is really frightening. So people were notably upset because they think, well, Nintendo is going to raise their prices. Everybody's going to raise their prices, and that is happening. Microsoft raised their prices already, and Sony will do the same thing. But, and this is where Lady Emery gets all fired up. Despite all of this, the Nintendo Switch has reported historic levels of pre-orders. So the same people that ostensibly were complaining online about how they couldn't live and all this and they would never buy it, they went and bought it anyway. So, which just greenlights the industry to ramp prices. So, and I'm just here to start shit. So, Ray Emery, what are your thoughts? This is a segment where we, you know,
we get into it. I feel like
where we slam the gavel. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. First off, part of my frustration with this is these pre-orders, they still had shenaniganry that was happening to even try and order one. I literally typed into Google Nintendo 2 Switch Chaos and immediately article pulled up. I've got it on our document over here. All about how people could not pre-order, the sites kept crashing, and people still bought this. And my biggest frustration, and Andrew knows this very well, is Joy-Cons. Give me proper working, non-drifting Joy-Cons. Give me Animal Crossing. Nope, no Animal Crossing. Boo, boo. And the cost of money for their version of Astrobot. Astrobot was an anomaly, but the Astrobot's, I think, Playroom, I think it was completely free. It was to show you how the Joy-Con worked, and Nintendo thought, that's a great idea. We'll do it for our new item, and it costs money for it. What? You're building out a tutorial system. Why are you charging your people money to figure out how to use their new gaming console?
Well, and Wii Sports was free, right? And that was kind of a series of games that used the motion controls a lot too, right? Back on the Wii. So it's comparable, right?
Yeah. So apparently Reggie had to fight really hard to get them to give that for free because they apparently did want to charge for Wii Sports, which ultimately would have been a good idea given how much people really enjoyed Wii Sports. But yeah, so I feel like the arguments you're making, I have no issues with them. Like, I don't think I said I had any issues with those arguments. No. I mean, Joy-Cons, hopefully the new ones work with no drift, but who knows? But that's fine. That's annoying. No Animal Crossing, though. There's going to be an Animal Crossing at some point. I mean, the original Animal Crossing was not a launch title on the Switch either. That came out 3 years later during the COVID pandemic, right? Which was a perfect pandemic game. I'm not saying we need another pandemic. I'm just saying it'll probably come out in like 2 or 3 years. 2 or 3 years, we'll probably get an Animal Crossing game that's going to eat up all of your time. Plus, you can still play that Animal Crossing on the new one, technically. But even then, and the other one was the site's crashing. That's just, unfortunately, poor back-end infrastructure for like all of these companies. Like, I tried buying it off of Best Buy. Honestly, the only reason I didn't end up with a pre-order on my own is because I forgot about the pre-order. I went 2 hours later, and I tried to do it on my phone before I left for work, and then the site wasn't working. Nope. And then I'm like, my friend's like, oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff waiting. And so I'm like, oh, okay, and I'll just do it when I get to work. And then by the time I got to work, there was none left.
Andrew? Andrew?
Yeah, what's up?
Did you or did you not pre-order the Switch 2?
I did not. I didn't. Not from a lack of. Not
There you have
from
it.
trying too hard.
Surprise, actually.
But honestly, so the thing that did surprise me, and I sometimes forget that the people who are annoyed online are usually just a vocal minority. Was that so many people were complaining that I'm like, and to be fair, I think this is definitely nowhere near as bad as the Wii or the original Switch, right? I think it was one of those things where, like I said, I forgot that pre-orders went up at 8 a.m. I checked at 10 a.m. and there were still things happening, which in the past, like scalpers or things like I think would have gotten like eaten all of that up. So I think there's definitely more in production than before, but obviously I don't think they were expecting to sell as many as they did.
It just makes me mad because they release it, they have a release date, and then they hold on pre-sales because they're like, well, we'll wait and see what the tariffs do. It's like, no, you set your price already. Don't renege on your price because of tariffs. I'm not happy about the tariffs and everything. But
Whoa, wait a second. I put this link in here because I knew this would come up. Nintendo already said the tariffs had nothing to do with the pricing. You guys know that, right?
Right, no. So the price was set before the tariffs. So they came out with the price for games and the console. It was just then they held on pre-sale, and they clearly were debating if they up the price that they presented because of the tariffs.
I don't know if it's that specifically. Like, that's possibly it. I think you can always assume, like, the most malicious thing with Nintendo. And I think a lot of people are more willing to go towards that. I think it's very possible that from a marketing standpoint, if you announce it at $449, the tariffs boost it up because when it gets in now, right, the tariffs are going to increase that cost. They either have to increase the cost at some point or they eat a big loss depending, and I think they weren't sure. I don't know where you go with that. Like, some companies are willing to eat that loss. Nintendo, unfortunately, isn't one of those companies. Even though they could eat the cost.
They're huge. They should eat the loss. They are charging so much for games now, and they are a notorious company that doesn't give good sales. Like,
I will say that it's been a known point for a long time, I believe, that most of the consoles that Sony and Microsoft have put out have been essentially like a loss on every unit. I think Sony was losing like multiple hundreds of dollars on every PS3 I think that came out, but they recover
PS3.
it. Was it PS3? But they recover it through video games. But I don't know. Maybe those days are just gone. Like maybe I don't look. Nintendo's
you
brand.
You gotta remember. Nintendo is a video game company, right? Sony and Microsoft aren't technically video game companies, and they have other, like, you hear like Xbox, like the whole video games division. The only reason it's actually technically profitable is because they like roped it in with like the mobile division or something. So like when you look at the figures, everything works out. But like Nintendo is just a video game company, so I don't think they can sort of eat that kind of loss in a similar way, and have other. I mean, they
are massive.
Money, but
They're a massive company, though.
Yeah, and they've got so I understand they're a video game company, but they are profitable in not just video games, but if I'm not mistaken, they have rides now at Tokyo Disneyland, right? They've got a whole land
Universal.
there, Universal. And so, like, I don't know. I think that it's just greed through and through, coming in and raising the cost and the prices, and I don't think that the console is far enough along to be able to equivocate that. For example, I have the Switch OLED. I figured the Switch 2 would then use an OLED screen to explain the cost of that. No, it's just going to go back to the previous screen that you had if you are going from, say, an OLED over to Switch 2. So it's not worth it to me.
Yeah, that's fine. So I'm fairly anti-capitalist. Let's just be honest. You've heard me talk. I'm not gonna like.
Oh,
I know. I'm
our little Canadian Frenchman.
I'm not anti-capitalist, but I'm sort of like I'm not pro-capitalism, except for when it comes to Nintendo, because I like my Nintendo box. I like my Nintendo games. I understand my own hypocrisy. I understand my own bias. I obviously
I'm
have
loving
the Switch
this side
box
of you. Yep.
in the back of my thing.
I'm losing it right now.
I'm not going to fight hard for Nintendo. I think people are just willing to shit on Nintendo more often than not. I'm not saying you do that very often. I get the frustrations with this, but I also think sometimes people have to be like, Do you just want to play your Nintendo games? Then buy a Nintendo box. You don't want to play your Nintendo games? Then don't buy a Nintendo box. And I'm okay with that. Actually, I prefer it if less people bought the Nintendo box, so I could easily get a Nintendo box. I would prefer it, honestly.
I think, and we talked about this, I think that there needs to be room for both, in that I think I have every right to complain about the price of something and the choices being made by a company. And like, if I still buy it, I still buy it, but like, I still get to complain. If I had a carpenter come in and put in shitty carpet, even though I got the carpet put in, like, I still get to complain about that because I can be frustrated.
I bitch and complain so much.
You see, the thing is, it's like it's just like, I feel like people are always complaining about Nintendo. And it's just really not like, it's like kind of like not annoying to me. And it's not you, right? You have your complaints are perfectly valid, right? For what you're expecting. Don't, like, no worries there. I just know a lot of the people who complain about Nintendo are like, ugh, it's not as powerful as a PS5 or an Xbox One. Why does it cost the same? And you know what? As someone who has owned every basically Nintendo handheld out there, like, yeah, I'm gonna buy the Nintendo handheld. I like playing my Nintendo games on the go. Like, I owned a Game Boy, well, technically a Game Boy Color, a Game Boy Advance, multiple different DSs.
So then how do you feel about though about other areas like coming into that sphere? You got Steam now, like a Steam Deck. You like that's coming into that sort of.
The thing is, like, the Steam Deck is more powerful, worse battery life than the Switch, and the Switch doesn't even have a great battery life, and it also costs like double the price unless you're getting a low end model, which I think that's to my understanding. Like, a Steam Deck sounds cool, but also a lot of the games I play on PC anyway are games I bought to play with a mouse and keyboard more often than not. Like, the one exception being Claire Obscure, the game I need a controller to play. And yeah, I'm glad I have a controller to play with.
Which we talked on Hobby Addicts for those who want to get the extra bonus content.
Yeah. So yeah. The Steam Deck is cool. I've seen people use the Steam Deck. It's a really cool concept, but it has a higher buy-in as well, right?
Well, and PlayStation Portal, right? Isn't that's another one that is now a handheld? So I feel like while Nintendo got to stand on like the laurels of being the handheld device, other people are creeping into this like area, this arena, and so
they're creeping in. Nintendo still has a stranglehold in the handheld market.
I gotta say,
the only one being cell phones, the only thing that's actually like outpaced Nintendo in that regard.
Yeah, I gotta like, so there are competitors, but let's be honest. I mean, Nintendo is in some ways even more than a video game company. They are a character goods company, and they're not only the name Nintendo, but all of these like different Zelda, Mario, Donkey Kong, all these games, they have so much brand power that I don't even know why people bother competing. I don't think they can. I think every time Sony has tried to compete, they get fucking murdered by Nintendo in the handheld. Yes, Sony does have the highest selling system still, which is the PS2, but they, like the PSP, like it didn't even sell, it barely sold half of what the Nintendo DS did. Like, and it was a way superior piece of hardware. And it just couldn't compete. But
and I own that too.
And I get pissed off at Nintendo and because so I only have two problems here. Like, my first problem is, again, I agree with Lady Emery. I think that Nintendo should sell quality peripherals with their system that don't break. I'm still using PS1 controllers from fucking 25 years ago, and they still work. It's crazy. I was playing Legend of Dragoon with a Pancake the other day on PS2 and using a PS1 controller, and that fucking shit still works. So they should just sell quality peripherals. It's a joke to say those Joy-Cons are worth $80. I mean, they're basically shitty toys. Yeah. I mean, they're not real controllers, and that's why everybody upgrades and buys like the Pro controller. We have one, whatever. My problem is, and this is a little bit of a straw man, and I don't know how much longer if you guys have more grievances you want to air, but like my problem with all this is that people should not be loading up their credit cards to buy the Switch 2 when they're already doing like monthly payments on their fucking groceries. Do not do this. If you're on the internet screaming because you can't afford a $200 price increase on the Switch 2, do not buy it because you are ruining your future.
I agree.
Do not buy this shit.
Oh, no, I totally agree.
People are doing it, though. They will
same.
fucking do it. The average household's got $11,000 of credit card debt. I'm sorry. The average household should not buy a Switch 2 until you've paid your credit card debt. This is not financial advice, but don't be stupid. Do not be stupid.
I think this is one of the things for, like, a console in general, right? Like, remember, Xbox just announced, like, their consoles are going to cost a lot more as well. The PlayStation 5 costs already, like, the same
Too
almost,
much? Yeah,
or, like, more than the Switch 2. And yeah, I get the grievances with the Switch too, right? Like, could it be better? Hell yeah, it definitely could be better. Mm-hmm. But, like, honestly, I don't buy a Switch for gaming in the sense that, like, when people look at gaming, right? Like, I buy a Switch to, like I said, I buy my Nintendo box to play my Nintendo games, right? And a lot of Picross, as if you've heard Hobby Addicts.
Oh, Picross.
I play a lot of Picross.
Oh, shit.
I play a lot of Picross. I'm currently doing a Doraemon one. So yeah, and I think the whole the Wii Sports equivalent, the tutorial for the system being $10, even if it's not that much, still pretty stupid because it's a tutorial for your console. I think nobody should buy that, in my opinion, because that's dumb. Just figure it out on your own, like we used to when we were kids. And you know, like, at the end of the day,
I think you said it best when we talked. Is gaming is a luxury. Like, it is. Yeah. It is not a need. It's a want. And sometimes it's hard to remember that, even when I'm yelling about the whole thing. That yes, it's not part of your. Is it the 5 like needs of humanity, like where you need like shelter, food, and love, and things like that? Yeah. It's not going to be up there.
Yeah. Well,
no, and for me, honestly, personally, I just want to let my last point is, like, I would love it if it was in a way that everybody could have a Switch, right? Or whatever console they want, right? Like, I wish we were in a place in society where it could just be an easy luxury that we could all have. None of us are technically entitled to it. Even me, where I'm like, I wish less people bought it so I could just pick up my pre-order. Like, like in the old days where you could just walk into a store and pick one up off the shelf, no problem, at launch. But, at the end of the day, there's a, unfortunately, it is a luxury. But you know what? If you can have fun, also just have fun. Like, you don't have to buy it. Also, you can play your Switch 1. Also, there's still a lot of great games on the Switch 1, even if it is broken. And like I said, I'm also using my original Switch. So,
are you guys gonna buy Switch 2s? Good quality.
Yes, I'm definitely buying one. I have like a pre-order from a friend waiting, sort of, that I can just piggyback off of. Like, my friend got an extra pre-order, so I could just piggyback and take it from him. But yeah,
essentially, you gonna buy it?
That's where I'm at.
I'm gonna wait until I get confirmation the Joy-Cons aren't stupid and drifty, because I don't have time for that. And I'm gonna wait for games that I actually want that are unavailable on my Switch OLED. I'm gonna keep playing my Switch OLED. I got Stardew Valley going right now. Just let me go farm and just live with my chickens.
I will not buy a Switch 2 unless Pancake wants it, because I will do most anything for Pancake. But
yay.
That's love.
My reason for not buying a Switch 2 is because I am an utterly pathetic, degenerate trophy whore. That's it.
True.
I am a fucking pathetic degenerate.
Those do be the
Nintendo
facts.
still won't go into that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I will play a game I don't even like a second time just to get one trophy. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Times. Yeah, it's bad stuff. All right. Well, that was a little less heated than I thought. We're just too
nice.
Too friendly. We should be a little more.
Because Lady Emery has reasonable complaints for this, why not to get a Switch 2. It's not like, oh, fuck Nintendo, because Nintendo sucks and this console isn't powerful enough, and which I hear all the time, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. Can I play my Nintendo games? But yes, we are reasonable people.
You know what? I'm gonna change my fucking shirt. Go ahead and do this. Start this next segment, and I'm gonna put a fucking shirt on for Andrew.
All right. So I'm gonna lead you into this because you have apparently has a shirt for me. All right, so welcome to the main topic. Yeah, this episode already has been running long, but you love us, so you're gonna enjoy it anyway. Is spring 2025 the worst anime season ever? And I don't know who actually posed this question in the group.
I'm guessing
first.
It's Mitts.
Okay.
I feel like it's Mitts.
And knowing, I love the T-shirt. I love it.
Yeah, Super Mario T-shirt from Uniqlo, I think. I can't remember. It's got all the Yoshis. Yeah, Yoshi's
good quality too. Uniqlo makes some good stuff.
Yeah,
not sponsored.
You can see my nipples through this shirt too. Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So you're the one who asked the question: is spring 2025 the worst anime season ever?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes. That's my question.
What brought you to this conclusion? Why did you come up with this theory or concept or thesis?
Well, so my first thought is that I've never seen so many mid and boring fucking anime in my life. I've watched something like 15 or 18 2-episode chunks, 3-episode chunks from this season, and it is just my opinion from a grumpy fucking guy who's about to hit the 40 mark. I just can't believe how fucking boring some of this shit is. I still think the Gundam show is the best show of the season, and it's not even close to the top of the ranking. And I just think people just don't like mecha. But listen, I got some info here, right? This season only has 2 anime that are higher than an 8 of a score on my anime list. This is all based on my anime list. And neither of them are new anime. One of them is Black Butler, and the other one is Pretty Derby. And I added up every single score from this season, and the average score for the season is a 6.8. And I think that's pretty fucking bad. That's bad. And by the way, I did not include To Be Hero X because that's not anime. But
according to you,
according to
for me,
me,
it passes the vibe check. For me, it passes the anime vibe check. But
I'd like to hear.
That's a different.
I'd like to hear why real quick.
Well, one, if you don't think it's anime, then you are currently losing our bet on AI, because the AI anime article I sent you was from a production company that is not in Japan. It is, I think, primarily Chinese. And
I can't remember the bet, but I'm happy to lose it.
And I will say, this is something that Raggedy and I both ended up agreeing on when we had the discussion with some others about what makes anime and whatnot. It's more of a vibe check for me. I'm more than willing to give a little bit more flexibility and blur the lines and get a little more gray in what anime is. And I personally believe that the Japanese definition of anime, which is just an animated thing, should have more credence than our Western identity of anime. So my go-to is Blue-Eyed Samurai. Kojima came out and said at the time that was one of the best anime that he had ever seen. He is a Japanese man using that word to describe what is not normally considered a not Japanese anime as anime, and therefore I'm more than willing to follow that definition. So I think To Be Hero X does pass the anime vibes check. But that's what I call it, is the anime vibes check.
It's going to take me a while to recover from To Be Hero X.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically, the season's just bad. Like, there's just not a lot of good shows. And so I wrote down, Lady Emery's got, like, fucking calculus down here. What the fuck am I looking
Stolen
at?
calculus.
This is not, yeah. We had totally different approaches. I went back about 20 seasons and wrote down how many shows had better than an 8 as of a score. And there are really only, there's really only 2 seasons other than this one that have only 2 or less shows that have, an 8 or more. And I did write down a few seasons that I thought were possibly worse that we can look at. But let me put it like this. If you go back to the last spring, we had 12 anime that had better than an 8 on my anime list. And this season, you only have 2, unless you include To Be Hero X, in which case you'd have 3, which is just very different. That's a big difference. 3 versus 12. What the fuck is going on? So, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
Oh, boy.
So
yeah, you start, Andrew.
I don't
you
have
start.
like a crazy. You're the one with all the data, so I'm just gonna yap away like I normally do.
Yap away.
It's interesting because I think what's interesting about this season is that it is very middle of the road, which is interesting when you say something like worst season ever. It feels like this season is the least swingy of all the seasons I've seen. All the shows I've watched, impressions or even caught up, right? Other than like some of the really interesting or good shows that I've enjoyed a lot, but maybe for my own personal reasons, have all just been middle of the road. No show has been terribly bad. Even the shows that I think people didn't like Dinner Table Detective, is, if you don't like that, it's still very competently made and just very okay if you didn't like it, right? You may not like that comedy, which maybe you rate it lower or not, but like I think like what's interesting about this being, I don't know if this is the worst season, but it's definitely probably the middest season, spring season I think we've ever had, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I think what I want to get into is what makes like good art and thus good anime for you is very different than what it is for me. And just even talking about Mal. So you are looking exclusively at Mal. We're not going to take into account AniList, which allows for decimal point systems. It allows for things like Scott Pilgrim to be included in its list making. So like it might have things that Mal doesn't have. The breakdown that I provided, that I'm not going to go into detail on because it is just a lot of numbers, is showing how they weight the scores. But you have to take into account that means that people are finishing a season. The minimum votes that are included in this are always going to be at 50. You can't on Mal, from my understanding, use a decimal point system. So you have to, and normally what people do is round up. And so there's just, I think there's faults in a rating system. People are going to rate things differently. You'll, of course, always have the Full Metal Alchemist trolls out there that are going to lower a show regardless of if they actually find it good or not. And just scoring in general is just such a subjective art, and we all get to have our own opinions at it. And so to call something the worst ever, well, if you go all the way back to like 1996, 1997, there was a person on Reddit who posted the average Mal scores for every season in the past 40 years, and those tanked in the 90s. Like, they had some really low
but you
scores
can't,
there.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, basically, I'm going to get a little condescending here, and I apologize. Not necessarily to you guys, but some people that might be listening.
No, I feel like it's important to, like, not to get condescending, but, like, to have this argument and debate so that we get
That's fine.
multiple sides. So, yeah, I think you should go for it.
So my first thought is that I don't think there's any difference between my anime list and my anime list and Annie list. Although I'm gonna make a guess and say my anime list is probably like by an exponent bigger than Annie list. Otherwise, Sony would have been paying the $100 million for Annie list, which they did not. But I don't think there's any difference. I think the conversation between the two is kind of hilarious, and I would be willing to do this right now, even though it's kind of taking us off track. I bet that we could pull any anime you can think of, look them up on both websites, and I bet they have about the same score. Because I don't think there's any difference. I think I've done this before.
Okay, yep.
So if I look up Fire Force Season 3, we can test this briefly.
Yeah, let's do. Yeah.
All right, so here's Fire Force Season 3 on my anime list. It has about an 8. It's 7.97. So if I take the same guy, and like a modern good boy, I'm actually showing this on the feed. It only took me like 9 years to figure this shit out. See if I can actually pull it off. Let's see if I'm right. So, unless I'm mistaken, they don't even... Let's see here. Where do they put the score on here?
There's a percentage.
Mean score.
So average,
look at that.
There you go.
7.9 on any list, too. This is the same score. For that one, at least. But I think the reason why people they hate the stuff from the 90s is because people literally can't look at something that doesn't look brand new now. It's just like gamers aren't going to play games like Lunar because they're old. And if I put Future Boy Conan, if I put fuck me, if I put like Totoro in front of someone from today, they're going to go, this anime looks like dicks. it's too fucking old, and they're gonna give it like a 6. Like it's and that's if I go on my anime list and I punch in like Grave of the Fireflies, it probably doesn't even have that great of a score because it looks old. So all this stuff from the 90s, like people don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I don't know. Well, one, I don't know if maybe it does. The look thing might be why some people do that. I think the issue is that some people are just not willing to go that far back into their scoring system, right? Like when I made my anime list, I took an effort to go back to be an elitist and put in every anime, even if I watched the American dub version of it. So yes, I did put in the seasons of Pokemon I've seen on my anime list. I did put in fighting Foodons. I did put in obviously Digimon. I did put in Samurai Pizza Cats, even though I've only watched the dub version of it. You know, like but not most people aren't willing to do that, right? A lot of people who are using my anime list or any list, I think, are mostly people who've maybe gone into anime in the last decade and aren't going to go and put the shows from their childhood, some of which they might not have even realized. Like, yeah, Metabots is on my anime list, by the way. I put my Metabot scores on there, and I've seen all of it, so, yeah.
But it's kind of this idea that, sure, you could make the argument that they're not adding their 90s thing, that people who have been watching it since, like, Mio Slayers, right? Like, I don't think I have Slayers on my annual list, to your point. And it's because I don't think I've watched every single episode. And so for me, I just want to be a completionist when I'm putting things on my annual list. But at the same time, if we're judging people on what they're watching today, I think Mitz's point on, I didn't like this 90s anime because of whether it was plot or the art style, may have more credence than the person who's like not rating it. I don't know. I think I'm trying to find like the baseline then, I guess, of our audience members.
I didn't go back very far when I was looking at this because, well, for one thing, there just weren't as many anime, in the past. Like if you go back to like 2000, you'll have a season and have like 15 shows in it, 20 shows. Well, now you got like 70. It's like a ridiculous amount of shows. So it's like I was just adding up how many shows had an exceptionally good score. But of course, like if I go back to like 2000, well, you're only picking from like 18 shows a season. So of course they're gonna have fewer well-rated shows. There just aren't as many to pick from. And yeah, I'm just gonna stand by it. Like I'm looking at like Vision of Escaflowne on here. It has the middest fucking score ever. People, this is a sunrise anime with awesome mecha designs, with music by Yoko Kanno that would make your eyes water. Because it's got a bigger budget for its fucking music than some anime completely nowadays, and it still has a 7.6 because it's from the 90s and people don't want to watch it. That's basically that's all there is to it. They don't want to watch it. It's too old.
I feel like I just want to, because otherwise this is going to just evolve into like a old anime versus current anime.
That's fair.
And I don't know I think and I'm going to just like quote unquote mind read Mitz here when the statement was made. I think, well, it was obviously in hyperbole to some extent. And secondly, I think it was just more probably of like the last decade. And I feel like that's a more fair comparison to look at. Is this one of the worst seasons in the last decade? Like I said, I don't think I agree. I think it's been, I think what we've come to in this sort of like polarized society to some extent is that things are either the best thing ever or the worst thing ever. And I feel like recently a lot of things have actually just been average. And when you're so used to like things being so great, average can seem like trash. And when you think about it, these things are just average. I feel like this season. That's the impression I got from this season.
Can we put it to the test here real quick and I'll get us back on track. Look at this season. I'm showing it on the screen. Yeah. This is the current season. This mono anime, which I would rather rip my eyeballs out than watch, is the 6th highest rated show of the season. There's just nothing up here. Like, look at this. Your best anime is Black Butler, like season 700 or whatever the hell we're on for Black Butler. Like Windbreaker, that's one of the top shows of the season. Windbreaker season 2. Like, there's just nothing here. Like, look, where is the highlight? I'm scrolling.
I mean, there's a lot of highlights, but I don't know if they would agree. So, okay, so where are the highlights that aren't?
Yeah, I'm working off the law. I'm working off the law of large numbers here. Like, this is like, my opinion, sucks most of the time. Everyone has a different value of their own opinion. I think my opinion, for the most part, is not the opinion of most other people. I'm an old curmudgeonly son of a bitch. So basically, that's just how I feel. But when I'm looking at these anime and I say, okay, well this, and I've had this conversation before, and not with you guys, but in the past, people just don't get it. But like, if 100,000 people score a show, it is what it is. Like, my opinion doesn't matter. 100,000 people's opinion is more accurate than my opinion. That's how statistics works. So if half the planet is on, if 20 million users are on my anime list scoring these shows, and there's only 2 shows above an 8, the season sucks. Like, that's just people. The populace has spoken, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. You guys may not agree, but I want to look at some of these older seasons and see if they're any better. But
yeah, I'd
you have
say,
some
like,
data you want to go through.
Well, I think I've gone through some of the data, but like I do think the other thing that you're looking at is you're seeing these ratings and you're saying, okay, there's 2 shows that are getting an 8 currently. This is also a season that is still going on and still in existence, whereas the others have had time to close the books, end the chapter of the show, and maybe it was mind blowing, maybe it's not going to be, but we're not to the end, and I still think beyond the data that this is just such a subjective thing. I mean, one of, like, I think a great example is Freyren. I love Freyren. I think it is absolutely worthy of being at the top of the list, but I know, Mitz, you're not a fan of Freyren, and I think that's okay. So I know statistics-wise, yeah, you feel like your opinion doesn't matter, but I think it does, because I think there are people that would agree with you that Freyren is not all that it's cracked up to be, whereas for me, I would love to push at that and be like, oh, it's really digging into nostalgia factors that I love. Another great example, which we'll talk a little bit about later, is Witch Watch. I think that likely there's going to be some polarization on how people feel about that, like that current anime that's existing right now. You know, some of us may rate it highly, some of us may rate it in the dumps and compare it to the Deer show of the past season. But like, yeah, I think there's just a lot more subjectivity to say it's the worst in a decade. I don't know. Like, I feel like I would, to your point, need to like look at the other seasons to see if that's true.
Well,
for myself,
I would say, like, so Mitch, I'm looking at the document, and so 2015 had only 1 show that cracked an 8, but did it have an overall better average score?
Would you like to look?
Was the spring 2015. Sure.
I mean, and I appreciate that, Lady Emery, that you have a higher opinion of my opinion than I do. I mean, I have never met another person that didn't like Freyren. I had a coworker the other day who knows that I'm a big anime guy at work, and he was like, "Oh, I'm watching this anime called Freyren. It's like, have you seen it? It's so fucking good." And I was like, I think I literally said, "You won't agree with me. No one agrees, but I think it's mid." And he was like, "Oh, you're fucking crazy." No one agrees, but it has a 9.3 on Mal. I mean, I think it is representative of the people's opinion. My opinion is not correct.
Wait, hold on.
My opinion is my opinion. I'm not going to like Freyren suddenly because everyone else does. But if I walk into a convention full of Freyren fans and they all agree that it's great, then my opinion is just like when Bardock fired that little energy ball at Frieza in the Bardock special, and it just disappears because no one gives a fuck. It's just one person.
Wait, hold on. Your data for spring 2015 is wrong, so I can't use that as an example.
How dare you?
Well, you said there's only 1 show that scored better than an 8. I see at least 7 list when I go to
okay, fine. Fine.
What do you mean?
So I missed. So I fat fingered it. Okay.
You definitely fat fingered it.
I fat fingered it. Yeah. Would you like to look at spring 2016?
Sure. Let's do spring 2016, folks.
So spring 2016 only has 2 anime that are better than an 8. One of them is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Oh, I'll put it on the screen. One of them is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable, and one of them was ReZero Season 2. ReZero Season 1. Season 1, I think, actually.
Yep, which was new at the time, yeah.
You know, you can go down further, like there's My Hero Academia is in this season. Magi is in this season. Bungo Stray Dogs. So I think clearly this season is, in my opinion, better than the current season. Like, just for My Hero alone, I think it's probably better. But do we have anything in this current season that even sniffs a My Hero Academia?
No, but My Hero Academia was an anomaly though too. Like I feel like that was tapping into kind of the anime zeitgeist and the Marvel love.
Okay, well, what about JoJo?
Actually, I do have a question. Yeah. I think maybe that's more what you're perceiving, right? And I think maybe Lady Anne-Marie would agree. It feels like, because a lot of these shows at this point, even back then in that 2016 season, we would go, these are some pretty interesting shows, even if they, and a lot of those scores are probably adjusted for time, as I have weird glare going on. There's sunlight. Okay. But I look at this current spring season, and very few shows jump out in that same way, right? Like either they're mostly sequels, but very few shows are like the next My Hero Academia per se, or whatever else you mentioned, or like a ReZero or something, right? That isn't already part of an existing franchise. Like there isn't that new. And one of the things I expect out of spring, right? Like, and maybe that's just how the anime business has. It's sort of like spread out all the shows, but like spring used to be the season where all the big shows are supposed to come out, all like your heavy hitters, and it feels like this is one of the spring season is the first time in a while where nothing to that effect is happening, which makes it seem worse than it probably is.
I couldn't agree more. Like last year we had Kaiju number 8, we had Those Who Love Demon Slayers. That came out. I'm trying to remember. I remember looking at spring of last year. I was like, oh, these are all bangers. And the summer of last year was, I think you got a little more of Jujutsu Kaisen, but it was really like summer is usually the time where it just
tanks.
Yeah. And this summer we're getting Don to Don. We're gonna get this summer Kaiju number 8 again. We're gonna get My Dress Up Darlings. This summer's gonna be a shocking banger of a summer season, likely. And so this is just kind of our wah-wah season. I feel like everyone has the wah-wah season in a year.
This feels like so one of the weird things, maybe it's because of all the animation delays and people getting crazy and all that, getting crazy overworked. But like winter had more shows that I was interested in, that I was surprised I was interested in. And maybe it's all shifting. So like maybe they have decided to like, we'll spread the love a little bit everywhere now, because we're getting some good shows each season, which is probably better, honestly, for the most part, to have a few great shows every season. I don't know if this season has anything great, but spring needed to get dethroned at some point, and maybe 2025 did it.
And that's just our opinions. Obviously, people know that I'm a big shonen head. I like the punchy things. But like there are some interesting things going on that people may like. People may like a lot more of the slice of life, the girl rock band vibes that are being laid out. This is a huge witch season. If you like witches, this is your season. It's the season of the witch, but in spring.
Yeah, well, animes go through trends, right? So like the isekai trend is, for the most part, kind of dying out, luckily. Maybe not dying out, but it's definitely reached equilibrium. Like it went through like its mecha phase, where mecha went through like the late 90s, early 2000s phase where like so much mecha was coming out. And now, and then we had isekai for like the last decade, and now it's sort of like tapered out to maybe we can just do fantasy shows again, which is I'm actually kind of happy about. So maybe we're just witches are the new big thing until it equalizes out.
Which is a new isekai.
Yeah, but yeah, honestly, it is an interesting question, I think, to bring up though. In some ways, I think I do agree that this is probably the worst spring season because it has been so mid, and there has been so like. There's usually like 3 breakouts, and this year doesn't feel like there are any breakouts in the sense that I feel like we usually get out of spring. And so, yeah, that's where I think I would fall on that topic.
I guess like if I could phrase it simply, I think that our current season, despite having so many shows, has a very high percentage of shows that are extremely mid. Like they're completely unmemorable, and the mid wars on the Discord is going to be full of options. I think is where that's going to go, because there just aren't a lot of shows that are breaking past what I would say is mid territory. I am looking at I do think I found a season that's worse than our current season though.
Okay. Lay it on me. What is it?
Now we'll have to agree, and we'll probably have to wrap this topic up before too long. But
Okay.
Summer 2012 doesn't have anything above an 8. And arguably the highest rated show from summer 2012 is Yudu Yuri, which I haven't seen, but it looks stupid. The highest rated show was Kingdom. But this season only has 27 shows in it. So
The Sword Art Online people are cringing right now. They're just like, this was my season.
Wait, why is
Sword
it?
Art even?
I'm like,
oh yeah, Sword Art isn't here, but it's got a measly 7.2. Like at large, people didn't. A lot of people.
I think that's a
talk
lot of post. Actually, I think that's a lot of post-con readjustment. I think when Sword Art Online came out, it probably was over an 8, but over time, it's been definitely readjusted to what it should actually be.
That's what I want Mal to do, is just give me the chart, especially like as you saw episodes coming out of what the scores were doing, and then when it started to tank, like what was it that started to pull the score down? That'd be fascinating to see.
There was some interesting shows in this season, but like I actually think Jinri wa Suwaita Shimashita is like that world the world end or something. I thought that was an interesting show. I didn't rate it high, but I think it was like an interesting show. There were definitely some concept shows in 2012, for sure.
And I'm not counting the continuing shows, because if you look at the continuing, there's this season's got a ton of shit in it. It's got Hunter x Hunter, One Piece is every season. Hunter
One Piece is always a continuing.
Yeah, I can't even really.
Sure is.
Hunter x Hunter, Space Brothers, Naruto Shippuden, like there's a lot of stuff, but as far as just the new Kuroko no Basuke, as far as just like new anime, it just doesn't have a whole lot. But do you guys really think people like Sword Art that much? I mean, Sword Art Online Season 2 got absolutely wrecked on here. It's got a terrible fucking score. It's got like a 6.
Well,
it's got a 6.7.
Okay, so,
people, are you sure?
So I would tell you, if Sword Art Online, the first season, was just the Sword Art Online arc, that would probably have a 9 on Mal. But because it also includes the Elfheim arc, which is a huge drop in quality, it brings its score to about a 7.2.
Okay, but what are we talking about here? Like, I mean, these are shit. I mean, okay, if Dragon Ball,
that's a side conversation, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, okay, if Dragon Ball only had the best season, then the best arc, then it would have a better score. But it has the Boo Saga, which I think is fucking trash for the most part. So it probably drops, but I don't know. I don't know where this conversation is going.
No, I'm just saying that I'm always gonna say that the first arc of Sword Art Online is the best, and it's a shame that more of it exists.
Jeez. That just doesn't sound like a glowing endorsement.
It's not supposed to be.
Yeah, okay,
it's a glowing endorsement of that one part. And I am not a Sword Art Online defender. Don't you put that stank on me.
I don't know anything about Sword Art Online.
Is Otaku Cop, is he our Sword Art Online person?
Well,
I'm not sure.
Well, he defends everything, so
he likes everything.
He might just be the big love of the podcast.
He loves it all. Yeah, he's the anti-me, even though we're both old and bald.
It's really funny. He didn't like a show if it got anything below a 3.
Yeah.
He didn't like it.
He's just balancing out the universe with all of his positivity.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know where we fell on this, but I just really think it all depends on what you're looking for. And I think saying it's a mid-season is fine. I think that's what I would say, is it's a mid-season for me.
Because that's my point.
It's a good point.
I do think it's wild, though, that if you go back just 10, 11 years, there's literally half of the anime in each season.
I kind of miss that now, to be honest.
We doubled. Yeah, we fucking doubled our anime in 10 years. Are we going to double again? Are we like, is this like computer shit now?
No, the industry can't support. The industry can barely support what we have now.
Well, but if we start making anime from every single country and deciding that it's anime, China can make 1 billion fucking anime in 1 year. Like, do not listen. If we start making anime out of Germany and Brazil and all this and calling it anime, you're gonna have thousands. Yeah, yep, sure, why not? Thousands.
Look, I love my King of the Hill anime. Okay, chill.
Oh,
They
man.
do call
Shots
it. They
fired.
do call it an
I-
anime in Japan. They call King of
I know that's the
Anime.
joke. That's the joke. I know they call it.
I know. I want to
animation.
explain the joke. I want to ruin the joke by explaining it.
Why? My jokes barely get the reception they need all the time. I don't need someone to ruin it. I can do that myself.
I don't know if we decided anything, but we know that we
decided it was mid.
We do know that Pancake likes water sports, so that's the truth. That's true. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, it's true. See, listen.
Water sports.
I love a water ski, so let's go S tier.
Oh.
It's PS. Call that the slip and slide.
There you go.
Oh, bless Pancake.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
love
forgot
her.
she didn't know what that.
I love her.
She did not know.
Number one waifu right there.
I ruined Pancake when I found Pancake. She knew nothing of the world, and I have ruined her. And now she's like, I can't wait to watch Bonyu-chan with Lady Emery. It's like, you don't even know what you're in for. Oh boy. All right, I don't know what the outcome was of that segment, but I appreciate that.
It was fun.
Yeah. Would you like to read the in-show trivia question, Lady Emery?
Yes, let me get to it. Here it is. Okay. Which J-Rock band did the motion capture for Rock is a Lady's Modesty? Get the answer after the break.
Anime Addicts, Mitsugi is here, and I'm bringing you your anime news. We've got some business news to start off the news break here. Sony, Bandai Namco, and Gaudi launch a strategic partnership. So Sony and the others announced a 10 billion yen venture, which in today's dollars is about 70 million, investing in Gaudi Inc., a Tokyo-based entertainment technology company. So it looks like this is going to be a strategic three-way partnership aimed at expanding the global reach of Japanese IP. Gaudi is a heavy user of blockchain and AI technology to get its business arrangements completed. It is a fact that throughout the world, 10 of the largest 25 intellectual property franchises do originate from Japan, which underscores the influence and importance of anime, manga, and character-based content throughout the world. And Sony and Bandai Namco want a slice of this in their shared commitment to maximize the value of these Japanese IPs across the globe. So as part of this ecosystem that they're working on, Gaudi has, yes, also acquired My Anime List, a leading global anime and manga community platform with 20 million registered users. So this acquisition complements Sony's 2021 purchase of Crunchyroll and aligns with Bandai Namco's IP-driven business strategy. So therefore, in sort of a tangential way, I believe that Sony now does at least somewhat partially own My Anime List as well. So this alliance is built on a strategic vision to strengthen the global competitiveness of Japanese anime and entertainment through integrated cross-company initiatives. So they're going to be leveraging the international reach of Crunchyroll and My Anime List alongside Bandai Namco's IP merchandising expertise for overseas expansion. So a lot of business talk, blah, blah. Half of you probably don't even care. But basically, to summarize, Sony, Bandai Namco, and Gaudi have all entered into a strategic partnership, which includes an acquisition of My Anime List to expand Japan's IP powers throughout the world, pretty much. Next up in the news, original anime Shinsei Galverse is announced for summer of 2025. Wagami Labs announced this past week that this project will be coming out from Studio SOK. The director and original creator of this property are both Ayaka Ohida, who hasn't done really a lot, but they are credited with a title called I Like You, which I'm not really sure what that is exactly. The synopsis is about a harmony across the galaxy that used to be maintained by a sacred star known as the Mother Planet, but that peace was shattered when the Mother mysteriously exploded and vanished without a trace, and in the aftermath, the galaxy plunged into chaos and conflict. yet from the remnants of the mother planet, new beings were born, sentient fragments known as the Galverse. So it sounds kind of cool. Space wars, epic drama, hopefully. And a lot of conversation happening online about this Shinsei Galverse. So if you're a fan of that sort of content, look out. It's coming out really soon. Next up in the news, Crunchyroll remains silent on the end of its anime outreach program. So there was a fan favorite initiative by Crunchyroll that was bringing anime to, I believe, libraries and other areas that would give people that normally couldn't afford access to Crunchyroll access to it. However, it looks like Crunchyroll has ended this initiative. Some people on Twitter have been sharing their disappointment about it, saying that they're sad to hear that Crunchyroll is ending this library outreach program and leaving the anime community and anime clubs high and dry. The fact that they told a librarian who reached out to buy a personal account, they feel was also pretty absurd. Granted, Crunchyroll does only cost $7 and might even be cheaper than that with ads. And apparently you can share between people, so you could just split it 3 ways and just pass on your Starbucks for one day a month. So, but people are pissed that sort of these philanthropic efforts are being ended by Crunchyroll. This was Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break, and now it's time to get back to the podcast. Well, I say this every week, but the podcast, yes, you guessed it, it does still need funding. So if you would like to keep this podcast ad-free, if you want to get the extra content, if you want to support the show, if you want to reward the addicts for all of the hours of hard work in your name, well, you can go to patreon.com or you can go to our website, AAAPodcast.com/join. For about the price of a Starbucks coffee per month, you're going to get around 8 extra hours of podcast content exclusive just for you. And of course, you always get access to our Discord server totally free. So again, if you want to help out the podcast, you can go to our Patreon page or AAAPodcast.com/join.
Now presenting burning questions with the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast.
Would you rather
Yeah, I like these.
no.
I like these.
have
no.
taste buds in your butthole
What the fuck?
or poop out of your mouth but not taste it?
Taste buds in my butthole.
So you would rather taste your poop as you're shitting it.
Oh, well, you didn't explain what was
That's
gonna...
why the taste buds are in your butthole, is so you would.
okay.
God.
Taste buds in my butthole.
Oh, God.
What was the other one?
Or poop out of your mouth but not have to taste it.
I have to go with that one.
No.
I mean, that's disgusting.
Taste buds in my butthole.
No, that's you want to taste your own poop?
Now, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You have taste buds in your mouth.
Yes.
If you hold your nose and eat food, you can't taste it. If I hold my nose, do I still fully taste it out of my butt? It's a valid question. It's a very important detail in the answer.
No, you have to squeeze your penis.
Oh, God.
Because that is the nose of your butt.
And now, back to the podcast.
Very profound. That's right. While Lady Emery recovers, I will read the in-show trivia question. Which J-Rock band did the motion capture for Rock is a Lady's Modesty? And the answer is Band-Maid. Not to be confused
Thank you.
Not to be confused with Band-Aid.
Oh my god, that clip. I wasn't ready
like
for
that?
it. That was amazing.
You've never heard that
was...
before.
Nope, that one.
Wow, that was a new one for you. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's time for mailbags.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag. All right, if you want to leave a mailbag, it's AAAPodcast.com/mailbag. Not hard, people. Come on. Get with the program.
Pretty please.
All right. Who wants to read this first mailbag?
I'll
I'm gonna
read
say
it.
Andrew's up, yeah.
Alrighty. Yotaru Vegeta asks, or aka the Sheikah Prince, asks, a simple and easy question, AAA. What's the greatest anime film of all time? Let me make it even easier. I will give you 2 separate questions. 1, most enjoyable film, and 2, film that you think can withstand the power of 1,000 critics.
I think the most enjoyable anime film is probably Redline. And I really think the best anime movie is probably Grave of the Fireflies. I'm going to stand by that. I think that's probably true. For me, at least.
Well, it was a very good, very, very good choice.
Very sad.
Lady Emery?
So, most enjoyable film? I think it's Princess Mononoke. I can go back to that one and just oftentimes watch it, but sticking with my Studio Ghibli, I think one of the most underrated ones that everyone should see, and if 1,000 critics saw it, The Tale of the Princess Kaguya. The Tale of the Princess Kaguya. Excellent film. Excellent, beautiful artwork. I think a lovely story. I think it could withstand those critics. I highly recommend.
It was nominated for an Oscar, wasn't it?
Oh.
It was nominated for an Oscar, wasn't it?
I hope so. It was so good. The soundtrack I listened to with no shame.
All right. Well, y'all answers were good, so I went with something ridiculous, and I said Digimon the movie, specifically the American dub version, which is a combination of 3 separate movies that they put together with a pre-movie Angela Anaconda moment about them going to go see the movie. Which is a part of the movie because it's not a special feature. It is part of the movie runtime. And I think a movie that can probably withstand 1,000 critics. I think the original Ghost in the Shell, to give a more serious answer, the original Ghost in the Shell is just visually appealing, interesting discussions into philosophy, looks good, and yeah, it was just like an overall good time.
Another really good pick.
Yeah.
I watched Ghost in the Shell with a group of people about 5 months ago, and that is it's a good movie, but it's very difficult for some people to watch. You have to really be paying attention, and you have to really be in for some like psycho techno babble. My entire audience was fucking lost. They just couldn't do it. Next mailbag.
Yeah.
Lady Emery.
Yeah, I could. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Do it.
So this is from, and I'm gonna mispronounce it because it's Sijinther, and I'm pretty sure he said that we've always mispronounced it. Hello to you, my salad bowl of addicts. Just wondering, what's your biggest anime take contradiction? Is there an anime trope you hate apart from on one show? A show you love despite being a genre you dislike, or maybe a black-haired protagonist that you actually enjoy? For me, I'm not a big mecha fan, but a mecha show that is my goat is 86, which, yes, he is proclaimed that he loves 86. Otaku Cop, another fan of that. So anyway, over to you. My answer for this, and I think it's pretty evident, is ecchi or fan service is not my cup of tea. I don't mind reviewing it for the show because I think it has a lot of really interesting conversational pieces around it. But especially ones that lean on lolly art style, just not my thing. But God, do I love Kill la Kill. I love it so, so much. And I love Bakemonogatari. And so, again, could there be arguments that the ecchi on those is on purpose? And could we have talks about fan service? Sure. But I love them regardless of what they are.
You know what else you must love?
Oh, yes! My queen!
What's an ecchi show?
Honestly, that is actually probably my answer now that I think about it, Golden Boy. I am... it is a show that I didn't think I would enjoy as much for the amount of fan service that exists in it.
Yeah.
But it is quite... It does some pretty crazy things, and yeah, they just don't make anime like that anymore.
Nah. Golden Boy, even just like the way they draw his bicycle is so masterful. Like in the opening and stuff. Like there's so much... It's just... They knew how to draw machinery like back in the day, and they really did in Golden Boy. Yeah,
it's definitely the motorcycle for me. It's the chick on the motorcycle. So I am not a fan of Golden Boy. I am the one that's like my weird outlier. Not a fan, but the motorcycle is so detailed and so impressive. Like really dedication there.
For me, it's probably this anime, Full Moon Osagashite. It is pretty moe-ish. But man, what a fucking depressing anime this is. I mean, it is brutal. be ready to cry for hours while you're watching this shit. But yeah, it's a little too girly and moe for me for the most part. But I'm gonna have a soft spot for this anime for quite a long time to come. Even though I saw it a long time ago, but it's got some good music too. Some poppy, some fun poppy music. All right, is it time for impressions?
I think so.
Today, we're going to be doing impressions.
Impression time, believe it.
Oh boy, here we go. Will we have more luck than last time? Will his heart grow 3 sizes? All right, let's find out. We passed nothing on the last episode. We've still only passed 2 anime, so we had all the anime in the world to pick from. We have passed Gundam. Go ahead, Andrew. You have to do it.
Oh, Gundam Jiquax.
Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you.
So fresh.
So thank you.
Jiquax.
There was simply no other choice.
Sorry, let me repronounce that. Gundam Jiquax, as the Americans like to say.
Oh God.
Impeccable accent.
We are an embarrassment, if nothing else. And we have also passed. Jeez Louise. We also passed
To Be Hero X.
Yes.
The anime, not anime.
Yes, indeed. So I will just reiterate that I think we are trying out the concept of maybe not passing 6 anime if we simply just don't feel like there are 6 that we want to be passing. I will not be passing an anime simply because we want to fill out a roster of 6 shows, because then we potentially, especially in this season, end up picking some stuff that's pretty mid that no one will care about. So in light of that, I would prefer to offer up some other shows to be watched that we either missed from previous seasons or are just really old instead. So if you guys don't really, if you're not feeling it, don't feel the pressure. So the first show is Summer Pockets. Now, who passed Summer Pocket, or who picked this anime? Was one of you guys?
I think that was Pancake.
Pancake. All right, I'm getting this up here. Pancake.
Yeah, please.
What have you done?
Because I had some feelings on this show.
So yeah, let me just pull it up here. I had like 1,000 fucking documents for the podcast here. So Summer Pockets was Pancake's #1 pick. Here it is, people.
What?
Inside baseball. Yeah. Here it is. Here it is. Here's the picks. So there you go. Summer Pockets.
No.
Right? Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
That was your number 1?
That was your number 1.
Sure was.
I think I watched everyone. I made sure to watch everyone's #1 pick. And
oh, you're so good. What a good little soldier.
I had to wait for her score to come in before I put mine in, because what is Summer Pockets about? Who wants to talk about that, or like give a quick sentence synopsis?
I can do it. It's a key visual art Air clone where a guy shows up on an island and just runs into tons of girls. That's what this show is.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's probably going to get depressing in the last set of episodes.
Probably.
So now I know that Andrew has seen Air. Have you also seen Air?
No.
No, I have not seen Air, actually.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I'm just aware of Key as a
as
a concept.
Okay, so Air...
And Team Andrew. That's me.
Air is another anime that's probably better than, not according to the score, but is another a really early key visual arts anime where, well, I won't spoil it, but it's very sad at the end. And a guy shows up on an island and just starts walking around and like just meanders like you do in a visual novel, and just meets a ton of girls. And this is based on a visual novel, and it's got key visual arts right here is in the credits here. So as one of the producers, it's done by Studio Feel, and the whole time I was watching this, I basically was just like, this guy has found so many chicks. This is not past your test. This is past your test, Andrew.
I can't.
Come on.
Well, first of all, my test is specifically for isekais. But if this was an isekai, it would fail my test, yes.
Yeah, this guy.
We're going to need to expand it since isekai's kind of going down. I'm going to need you to like expand into other genres.
Well, I got to figure it's a vibe thing. That isekai test.
You knew the word to use with me. It's a vibe thing. Okay.
it didn't just I mean, it did just happen, but like it was of a process of being like so yeah.
Look at this cat.
but
Look
yeah.
at this cast list. Yeah, look at that. I'm sharing the screen here. God, the ads on Mao are so insufferable. They're so brutal. We've got Shiroha, Owl, Kamome, Tsumugi, Umi, Miki, Shizuka. So you got at least 7 or 8 girls here. And then you've got Heidi, who's the main boy character, even though his name definitely sounds like a girl's. And then some other dude I haven't seen. So, did you guys like this? Who wants to go first?
I can go first. It was okay. It wasn't anything interesting. It was not my type of show. I will appreciate the fact that the little girl character is treated like an actual child, even though she still cooks for the main character. But for the most part, he's not trying to, like, she doesn't seem to want to hook up with him. He doesn't seem interested in her in that way, which is comforting for now, at least. I mean, I'm not going to watch more of this. I'm just going to be honest. But it was okay. Like, I expected it to be worse given the image, right? But a lot of these... I will say I like the dinner scene at the restaurant with, like, a bunch of the other kids his age. It felt not anime in this classic sense of all these girls fawning over him. It felt very much like an okay scene. It was fine. Honestly, that's where I'm going to stop. It was fine.
I take it you're failing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says.
I'm gonna watch more of this.
Lady Emery?
I'll make this quick. I'm failing this. This is not my show. I did not like this. I was not happy watching this. It was, in my opinion, very boring. I didn't care about the mystery of what his big accident was. I didn't care. I just couldn't care less about this. I think this is meant for those who do like key shows, and that's clearly not me.
Well, if it follows the same path as all the other key shows, everybody in this anime will probably die at the end. So, all of them. Let's see here.
They grow up, though.
They're going to grow up only to be swallowed by an earthquake.
I was surrounded by the suck.
Or a tidal wave or something, yeah. All right. What is next on the list? Oh, it's Uichi Uwachi.
Which watch?
All right, let's get back to...
This is one I passed, I think.
Okay, let's have a look here. Let's have a look. Let's go back to our little selection document, and we'll have a little look, peek-see here. We've got which watch is... Where is it? Yes, Lady Emery, it was your third choice. There you have it. All right.
Yep.
So
I love this show.
Wow.
I really enjoy it. I think it's very cute. It is about I think it's going to be 24 episodes. It's a comedy rom-com. It's about a little witch girl who goes and lives with her friend who is part Oni, and just shenanigans ensue based on her spells, which have to have kind of a balancing factor. So anything she's doing, say making like a can like larger, well then she might get smaller. Say she's trying to levitate something, well then something she might need to be heavy then for a little while afterwards. So I think it's a fun concept. I think the jokes are great. I love all of the anime jokes. This is my show. This is my type of comedy. And I love the opening. The opening is phenomenal. And in episode 3, they actually showed she got a spell wrong. And they showed the behind the scenes for the animation. I'm passing this. This one is my pass.
Andrew, what do you think?
So I've only watched 2 episodes, but I also really enjoyed the show. The opener isn't like a banger, but it is really fun, really enjoyable. I enjoy it. I will actually probably listen to it every time I watch the episode. It's not like, and I'm going to compare this anime Witch Watch to an older anime called School Rumble.
Been there. Heard.
It has very much similar vibes. It's not like everyone, like School Rumble is like this rom-com satire jokey thing where everyone's trying to like basically into each other, and you could basically pair up anybody in like the group at any time to one another. It's not like that, but a lot of the comedy that it gets into feels very reminiscent of School Rumble. Like just like in episode 2 where she goes to school for like the first day, and one of the scenes maybe it is episode 2, and one of the sequences is just like, I'm just gonna do something weird with magic, and everybody's like all over the classroom in different configurations. And the teacher walks in, which is also great. Like the teacher is like this basically Shonen Jump manga reader, or just a big manga reader, and she references like actual like series, which is really funny in the show. Like this reminds me of like the Hunter exam, I think she says in one episode. There's a lot of fun stuff happening in this anime, and I think it's just really fun, and I'm also going to pass it because I actually am having a lot of fun with this as well.
By the way, this is done by Beebury Animation Studio, it's a fairly new studio, but I mean, they've got some good shows. I mean, it's mostly silly stuff. They've got the 1,000 Girlfriends and Quintessential Quintuplets and stuff like that. This show, I was watching this with Pancake. Pancake, I don't think liked this show very much. She kind of wrote it off pretty fast. We were laying in bed watching it. I think this show's comedy is pretty funny. I enjoy the scenes in the classroom the most, I would say, so far. Making his head giant was funny. Changing the gravity. And I think the teachers, the teacher in the school was so funny. She's like, got all these like anime references because she's obviously a nerd. Like the Infinity Castle, and she talks about like, I can't remember. There's several anime that I recognize she was talking about. Mm-hmm. This anime is a lot of fun. So I will also be passing it. But I will tell you. Well, I mean, whatever I said was irrelevant. It was going to pass anyway. But because you guys both liked it. But
yeah, but we're happy that you actually liked it too.
However, I will probably not opt to be on this review episode because I just don't expect that this will hold my attention for 26 episodes. I think that's a lot.
I think that's maybe a discussion we can have of, do we look at just the first half, because it is a lot of episodes to get through for a review. And I know we've talked about that in the past, of doing a full 24, 26, or just getting to the midway point. So
maybe it will pivot into something that's a little more story based, which is kind of what I'm going to need to get through 26 episodes. If they're just going to do slapstick gags for 26 episodes, I'm going to be like, my eyes are going to be glazed over by like episode. I'll be like pinching myself by episode 10. But for now, I thought it was quite funny. The girl character is very cute. She reminds me of a bunch of other characters that I've seen that I'll try to pull her up here again, that have for some reason I really enjoy these characters that have the like red hair with the purple eyes.
Strawberry blonde kind of hair.
Yeah,
Yep.
So this is not a unique character design at all.
She's like Marin Kitagawa.
God, there was an ecchi show. What the fuck? I can never remember. Marin Kitagawa, and then there was a character that I first ran into way before Marin Kitagawa came around, and it was, oh man, it was an anime where they did boob limbo in it. I can't remember. Someone one of the chatters will know.
Oh, isn't that the one with like the guy has a spirit, like a little genie girl, and
hook me up.
Oh my god. It's whatchamacallit? It's a KyoAni show, right? Kyoto animation show.
Anime. I'm gonna Google this. Anime on a different computer. Boob limbo.
Oh, anime I know. Oh my god.
Musagen no Phantom World. There you go.
Phantom World. Yes.
I'm gonna bring this character up, and then we'll move on, and you guys will see that this is she very much does remind me of so this girl right here has this roughly the same hair and eyes as the girl from Witch Watch, and this girl, she's a good looking anime girl. So a stupid anime though. This Phantom World is total ecchi silliness, but all right, we can move on.
It's silly. All right,
Boob Limbo is pretty epic though. Yeah, that one passes. I got to
play the drop.
Play the drop. God damn it!
I don't think I've ever been this excited. You're excited. Feel these nipples.
All right. Now do we even need to ask who passed this next one? Come on, Go Loser Ranger.
It's gotta be you, Andrew.
It's
right?
your boy Andrew.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, I got my first. I mean, like if you look at the list, I actually got both of my first picks. My strategy is wait until most people pick, or just pick what most people aren't gonna pick. Or people just expected me to be the only person to pick Gundam, so nobody picked Gundam.
Would you like to? Didn't I put Gundam somewhere in there? Yeah, I put it 6. I knew you would take it.
I was obviously going to be my number one.
Yeah.
So Go Loser Ranger is the second season of a show that we passed previously but haven't reviewed, Go-Go Loser Ranger. Essentially, it follows the basic combatant, like the putty character, as he basically can shapeshift and whatnot. I mean, his goal is to take down the Sentai team. I forget what their name is, like Dragon Rangers or something.
Keepers, something. The Dragon Keepers.
Yeah, the Dragon.
Trapper
the Keepers. And essentially, season 1 does a whole bunch of crazy stuff. He basically takes over as he replaces himself with one of the other recruits. With the recruits, like, obviously blessing, because he wants to prove that he can, and he wants to take him down. Anyway, long story short, season 2 picks up from basically where season 1 ended off, where one of the keepers is killed. Sorry, spoiler. One of the keepers is killed, and the recruit, after finishing his exam, is now being introduced into the world of the actual main building. So it's just a continuation in season 2. If you're watching it on Disney Plus, it's still technically viewed as season 1. They're just continuing the episodes. They're not like splitting it up. They don't care about cores. They're just like, it's still the same first season, which I kind of see because it does continue in a lot of ways. And honestly, I'm actually, like, I started watching a couple of episodes. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll have a hard time getting back into it. It's been a while, but they give you a brief recap and they get right into something. And honestly, I had to stop myself from watching all the episodes that come out. I would pass this personally, but I'm going to fail it because I just don't see, like, most people wanting to watch the whole thing anyway. And so, yeah, but it is fun. It is a great show. If you ever want to pick my brain on it, you know where to find me, but I'm definitely going to keep watching this because I enjoyed the first season, and I'm glad to know that the second season looks like it's going to be as enjoyable as the first season.
Well, I'm pretty sure I watched the wrong season. So, because what I watched started off with, like, the battle arena and the little fucking the little pissant little, what the hell are they called? Little
fighters. Sento D.
Yeah, what the hell is the guy's name? Oh yeah, Sentoine D, yeah, whatever. And he's trying to, like, infiltrate or whatever, and he's being, sneaky, and then you find out that everybody already knew. And I will say that this anime, listen, I'm not a Sentai guy. I did grow up in Power Rangers era, but I just never really followed it. And so, like, a lot of people have, and they're like, oh, I love Power Rangers and all this, and I get it. So, and I understand this is super popular stuff. I just never really enjoy the Sentai content, just like I don't really like superhero stuff usually. But this was a little better than I thought. It was a little interesting. I thought it's silly, but it didn't go down it wasn't going down the path that I thought it was going down. I liked the villains. I thought they were funny, but all in all, I just don't have much interest in watching this. I don't think I would. I'm already 12 episodes behind, unfortunately, because I didn't watch season 1. So it's real tough for me to pass season 2, and so I'm not going to. Lady Emery, what do you think?
Yeah, I'll make it quick. I think instead of looking at season 2, I almost wish we could have the podcast truly review season 1, and that would be my proposal, because I think it's sitting in the kind of dead zone somewhere. I surprisingly loved this. I started watching season 2 last season just to prepare for it, because Andrew had picked this, and I shockingly love it. I love the dark tones because I thought it was just gonna be a silly show, but it actually gets dark. There's a lot of gruesomeness to it. There's a mystery to it. That said, season 2 is a little bit slower for me to pick up. The opening ending are fine, but not nearly as delightful as the original opening and ending. So I'm going to fail it, but I'll keep watching it. I'm going to keep reading it. I'm likely going to get all the way caught up with the manga. I want to know what happens.
All right, I guess that's a no-go for Go-Go Loser Ranger.
How about no?
But I'm not necessarily against we're not going to, I don't think we're going to get to 6 passes this season. So maybe this is one of the ones that gets tossed in there as a possibility. Yeah. So I'm sure we'll let the Discord choose, but we can definitely come up with a good selection for them to look at. All right, we're getting towards the end here. The next anime on the list is Zatsu Tabi. All right, who picked Zatsu Tabi? Let's take a look.
That was me.
Oh, lady,
that was
way
me.
down the list, though. Number 6. But yeah, there it is.
And I'm going to say this, Lady Emery.
Yeah.
We need to pass this anime.
What? Okay.
We need to pass this anime.
God, you have to go first. Yeah, you go first.
I'm going to have to go first, okay?
You smoking crack?
This anime is mid. The animation is good, nothing amazing, but what the concept is silly, ridiculous. I've only watched 2 episodes. It is essentially a tourism video, but because it's a tourism video, as an anime podcast that promotes going to Japan, this is the kind of show we have to suffer through, so that others can exist vicariously through us.
Oh my goodness. That is your pitch?
Wow.
I realized I could have been playing the video the entire time.
One.
So I'm just terrible at this.
No, but in all seriousness, I was watching this and I'm like, this is okay. I don't hate this. I don't love it. The characters aren't overly annoying. They're not overly saccharine. It's kind of cute in a lot of ways, but it's basically Eurocamp, but I find campground kind of boring, so that's why I would not have ever passed this if it was just Eurocamp. But what I like about the show is that they actually give you little tidbits about all these unknown areas of Japan. Not unknown areas, but areas that most people aren't going to go to. Most foreigners probably shouldn't go to. But it just seems like a really nice thing, and that's why I would pass it. Honestly, I don't expect us to pass it, but I would say that's why we should.
Wow.
So not a bad choice.
All right, Lady Emery, what do you think?
It is a tourism video. I do agree. I think if you were getting ready to go to Japan, maybe go watch it to find some off the beaten path places to go. But like Andrew said, if you do that, please be respectful. Please don't be a dickhole. Please don't.
Don't be a dickhole.
Yeah, don't be a dickhole.
Don't we can't resist.
Yeah, I'm not passing this. I can't.
Thank God.
I don't mean to say suffer through it. I can't. I can't do it. I think that there's maybe some important cultural touchstones, but they did not make it interesting enough for me to want to pass it. Make it more interesting, I guess. Add some history to it. Add some flair or an interesting character.
Yeah, this anime was rough. I think I knew I was failing this within 90 seconds, probably. Oh man, who the hell is the studio even? They've done nothing. This is a brand new studio. My God, what have they been doing all this time? Look at this, Makaria. Founded in 2014, and you've got 2 anime on here. They've got this one.
They're probably doing a lot of background work.
And the Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows, which is also from this season. And they've got an ONA that nobody knows about. So, wow, okay. Yeah, this anime was just super boring. When I was bitching about the spring season earlier, this is what I'm thinking about. It's just these anime like this one, and there's Mono, where they're photography club, and then there's the fucking food show where they're in the food club, and then there's the island show where we're just going to wander around the island. God damn it, all these shows are just I'm going to walk around from place to place and just talk to girls. That's the whole fucking show. I just can't do it. How long is this? Well, at least it's not very long. Yeah, this is not passing.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Okay. Well, we're back to Andrew with Rock is a Lady's Modesty.
This is actually not my pick, technically. It is my pick, but technically I actually did not pick this.
What did you slot it in there for something that didn't end up getting made?
So I had Miru, but apparently it's unfindable online, and it's supposed to be this multi-studio, time multiversal project, which sounded kind of cool actually when I found out that it wasn't being by anybody. So they're like, well, there's no episodes out, except for I think a few raw episodes in the high seas that haven't been translated. So we're like, we need another show, and everybody else, and I say everybody else, I mean Raggedy, Dr. Emery, Raggedy Emery, and Mason. We're like, what about this show that we apparently missed out on? And I'm like, okay, but I'm going to expect some payback in the future, for me taking this bullet. And the show is fine. I didn't hate it. I only watched one episode. I thought it was a funny concept about, but I also thought it's also so ridiculously fantasy, like real world fantasy Japanese, and all an all rich girl school.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that can even exist. And it's not even giving me Oran High Host Club vibes where, it's just so ridiculous and over the top, where I can exist with it. And other than the rock stuff, the music was good. I like that song they played. But yeah, I mean, it was fine. Yeah, that's it. No, I'm not passing this.
Oh wow! All right, Lady Emery, what do you think?
I did enjoy aspects of this. I really, really enjoyed the mocap. I thought that was really, really well done, which is why I included it. I thought they to actually use a J-Rock band to get the correct fingering, correct drumming, fantastic. And I watched, I think, 2 episodes of this, and I really did enjoy. There's a turn at the end of episode 1 that you're not expecting from one of the characters, and that was really new and enjoyable. However, I am trying to see if this can be, and I don't usually like to do comparisons, but we already have on the docket Ave Mujica, and I feel like this is just a different flavor of that. And I know it's not the same show. I know it's different. I think, to Andrew's point, had they just leaned into the rock aspect of it and less into the pretty nobility, maybe I'd be more into it. I could see this coming back around on listener choice. That's what I'll say, is I think this could come back around, but I am going to be failing this. I'm undecided if I'll continue watching it. I think I will, but I just needed it to give me a little bit more in order to pass it.
I will also be failing this. I think there's 2 reasons. One is because I'm just sick and tired of these girl music shows. Even if it was dudes, I would be tired of it. The music shows haven't interested me since Beck. In my opinion, none of them are even close to as good as Beck. And we seem to cover about 2 of these a year, and I never enjoy them. So, and that's coming from somebody who's played piano for 30 years. So I should enjoy them, but I just don't. Also, I thought it was kind of silly in this anime that the entire show, the main girl character, whose name is Lilisa Suzunomiya, who's a cute character, I guess. She's so worried about being prim and proper, and we're in this girls' school, and I have to fit in, and I got to be, perfect and whatever, because my mom was not nobility or some crap, whatever she said. And then it's like, they talk about how, rock music is not prim and proper and ladylike to have in our society or our high society or our school or whatever. And then the music room is filled with nothing but heavy metal shit. There's 4 guitars in the closet. There's a whole ass drum set. An amp, which is gonna make the whole school flood with noise. And I'm like, come on. Okay, you can't have it both ways. You're either this prim and proper school where you're all learning violin, or you're a fucking rock studio. You're a rock school where you're all, school of rock, hardcore. Yeah, man, whoa. I don't know. It's just kind of silly. I'm surprised to see that this is a seinen anime, to be honest with you. This doesn't feel like a show that 40-year-old dudes are going to watch. I'm a little shocked by that. Maybe the demographics are incorrect on here, but So yeah, I'm not going to fail it. I'm not going to pass it. I don't think it was as bad as I thought, but it's not going to pass. There you go. I think that if I was pretty much going to swing, if one of you, I was a little on the fence on that one, honestly. If one of you had wanted it, I probably would have passed it. But since neither of you wanted it, it is gone.
It's not. I mean, it's fine.
It might come back. I'm fine with that coming back.
Choice. Yeah. I wouldn't hate it if it was listener's choice.
Yes.
I wouldn't.
I just don't want to watch Summer Pockets.
I just don't want to
watch. So fair. That guy is just gonna walk around the
community
whole show.
joke. Yeah.
All right.
It's like that community joke. It's not for everybody, but I'm not gonna hate on it.
All right, let's see here. We have passed now. We have added Witch Watch to the roster for the season, and next week we will be talking about another 5 anime and maybe seeing how many of these we can get. Lazarus, which I'm definitely winning the bet for. That show's toast. It's sinking. It's down in like the 7.4 era territory. It's so sad. I mean, like Watanabe, he's just still trying to get. You can tell he's still trying to recapture Cowboy Bebop, even with like using similar promo art and everything for this. It's just not as good. Kowloon Generic Romance, the beginning after the end, Anne Shirley, and the Sword of the Demon Hunter, Kijin Gentosho. Those are the 5 shows that the crew will be doing next week. I will not be on the show next week, but I think that we got some good people on that will be able to do it justice. So, you guys have anything you want to say before we check out?
No, I think we did a good job. I'm excited. I hope others like Witch Watch.
Yeah.
It's very
I
cute.
talked a lot, so nope.
Very cute. Had some nice moments. All right, guys. Well, if you want to follow us, please leave a review wherever you listen, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe if you liked our show today. We're definitely trying to grow the YouTube channel, so we would appreciate that a lot. Of course, if you want to get the extra content, including the hentai episode, which we're going to do right now, you can go to Patreon. It'll make it easy for you. Hit up Patreon, throw us a couple bones. You'll get everything. We love you long time. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining live. We'll see you. Bye.
Bye.